What's going on, YouTube? We're back today for our home match against the Portland Pidgeys. So as usual, on the right here I've got their team, and on the left I have ours. I'll go through that after I list off theirs. So they've got Heatran, Tapu Bulu, Melodic, Hydreigon, Beedrill, Donphan, Cress, Aerodactyl, Galvantula, Snorlax, Chandelure, Mienshao, and Entei. Looking at this team, I felt like we had a really good matchup with all of our stuff, and with that it kind of comes a bad thing, because there's a lot of things I want to bring because they hit his team really hard, but the problem is I can only pick 6. So over here on the left, I'm going to go through what I decided to bring. So we're going to bring the Choice Scarf Togekiss. This will be its first appearance. We're going to be running Air Slash, Trick, Thunder Wave, and Roost. So my thought process is, if we can get it in at some point, just throw off a Thunder Wave against something that's already naturally slower. We might be able to play play a different item. He might think that we have a different item, so we can use that trick to our advantage later, or the Scarf Air Slash to our advantage later. I'm running the Modest set right now because with the Scarf, the amount of speed that it has, it's like if I was running Timid, if I was running full speed, I still wouldn't outspeed the the Mega Beedrill. So I figured if I can't outspeed the Mega Beedrill, I might as well just tap into the fact that I have special attack that can boost there. So we're going to be running max special attack, and the hope is that the speed won't play into too big of a factor, because we're either going to try to Thunder Wave something, or we're going to try to get up the Sticky Webs, which we'll get into later. Next is going to be the Pinsir. It's kind of the standard set that we've been running. The only difference is we're going to be running Moxie this time instead of the Mold Breaker from last week, and we're also going to run Close Combat. So the reason I'm running Close Combat is because I'm assuming Tapu Bulu could possibly come, and if that does come, that's going to bring the Grassy Terrain, which nerfs the Earthquake quite a bit. While Earthquake does hit his team pretty hard, I don't want to bring it if he's going to have Tapu Bulu, because I can hit the other things with it pretty hard with the coverage that I have there. Next up, we're going to have Araquanid. Araquanid, I think this is the exact same set we've brought pretty much almost all the weeks, except for the first week maybe. So it's going to be running Leftovers, it's going to have the Water Bubble ability, and it's going to have Liquidation, Leech Life, Sticky Web, and Substitute. This week, Sticky Webs is going to be huge. I need Sticky Webs up to kind of counteract the Beedrill and a lot of the other things that could potentially outspeed me. But knowing that I'm faster than everything allows me to take down the rest of his team. So Sticky Webs will be big for us as long as we can keep them up. Substitute, I don't know if I said that yet, but Sub allows us to kind of check out some of his sets there, because if I expect him to switch in, we can sub up, and then we can throw up the Sticky Web after that and just kind of scout out some of the sets that he'll have. Next, we're going to have Toxicroak. So Toxicroak came last week. Unfortunately, it didn't perform nearly as well as we wanted to, but this week it's going to have the Expert Belt. I think it had Expert Belt. No, it had Life Orb last week. And that's another thing to touch on. We technically broke the 2-item clause last week. I forgot about that. Fortunately, it didn't matter for my opponent because it didn't cause any disputes or anything. So this week, we've got everything squared away. Everything's legal. So we got the Expert Belt. We're going to have Dry Skin. And we're going to bring Sword Stance, Poison Jab. I'm actually going to switch this to Bullet Punch, because that hits a lot of the other mons pretty hard outside of Chandelure. And that would be the main reason I would bring the Sucker Punch. So we're going to throw Bullet Punch and then Drain Punch to try to keep us healthy. So we're going to run not max attack, but we're running 252 in attack, and we're running 192 in speed with a Jolly Nature. The reason why we're going with 192 instead of full is because I looked at kind of the speed tiers that he has, and that allows me to outspeed the big threats that I have to watch out for, being Heatran. As long as it's not Scarf, it also helps me outspeed Tapu Bulu, and those are the two big ones that I want to make sure I outspeed. Next, let's see here. Let me go back to the team. Next, we're going to have Heliolisk. This is its first outing. I went back and forth on the item for this. Originally, I was going to do Leftovers, and I was thinking Expert Belt. But then I decided on Air Balloon. And the reason I decided for Air Balloon was for Donphan. So that way we can for sure knock it out in 2 hits. Because with Donphan having Sturdy, I want to be able to knock it out with 2 Surfs. Oh, hold on. Going back to Toxicroak. So Toxicroak, its ideal opportunity to set up is against Melodic. Melodic is a very, very, very bulky mon. But Toxicroak walls it completely, pretty much. So it's got the poison typing, so that way Melodic can't poison it. It's got the dry skin, so Melodic can't scald it and burn it. So our plan is to get Toxicroak in on Melodic if he brings Melodic and start setting up and potentially sweep through the rest of the team. Alright, so now back to Heliolisk. So Heliolisk, it's another potential sweeper. So we're running agility on it because if we can get the agility off, that allows us to outspeed everything on his team. Maybe pending a Scarf Aerodactyl, I'm not sure. But we should be able to outspeed everything else on his team. The other interesting thing is we're running Charge Beam. So the hope is that we can hit something, get the special attack boost, and then from there it's going to be pretty easy pickings through the rest of the team as long as its checks and counters are out of the way. The last mon that we have, let me move it up here, is Scizor. This was a late addition to the team. Originally I was going to run Mew, but then I changed my mind and I decided I wanted Scizor just because I wanted a little bit more, some physical bulk. It does get walled by Heatran, but I'm not too worried about Heatran because we can go into some other checks and counters there. But Scizor's going to be running Leftover, it's going to have Technician, it's going to have Bullet Punch Roost, U-Turn, and Defog. Defog is mainly for getting webs and rocks off of our side if they are on our side. With him running Galvantula, I do have to watch out for webs, but I feel pretty confident that we can get Scizor in at a right time to defog any webs. But if he does bring Galvantula, we do outspeed with a Scarf Togekiss, and we can potentially air/flinch and then take it down after that. So that's the team for this week. We're 2-2 currently. This is week 5, so this is kind of the midpoint. So the goal obviously is to be 3-2 after this and be on the positive side of the mid-season grind. All right, so without further ado, we'll get into the battle. Alright, so we sent the request and he's accepted. So we're going to take a look at his team here. So things to note is there's no Melodic. So that means Toxicroak isn't going to be able to really get too much of a chance to set up probably. But he did bring the Galvantula. So the plan here is definitely going to be lead Togekiss and try to flinch that. He might lead off with the Beedrill, and if he does, then we've got a safe switch into Scizor, but that's probably going to allow him to bring in something else. So we're going to copy this link here real quick. Alright, so we're going to go ahead, we're going to click Togekiss as our lead here. So the Entei coming, so he leads off with the Entei. Let's go ahead and we're gonna, I could be rocking the Stone Edge, but let's just go for a Thunder Wave first here. Ah, he does rock the Stone Edge. Alright, so unfortunately Togekiss is gonna go down, but this is gonna allow us to go hard into Araquanid and throw up Sticky Webs. I don't see him having anything with Defog outside of Aerodactyl. Oh, wait. So we're gonna, this is a risky play here, because it could potentially, the Stone Edge, if he breaks through Paralysis, it will probably knock us out. But we're gonna go ahead and go for it here. Safe play might be to sub. Hold on, what would Entei's... Entei's speed, if he's running max speed, paralysis is half, I believe. Let's just do some quick math here on a calculator. So Entei's speed would be 328. And we'll cut that in half. So he would still outspeed us anyways. We're going to go up and just throw up a sticky web here. Alright, so he's going to get up his own, probably. And let's see. Let's just... I feel like his safest play might be a Thunderbolt. Let's switch into Heliolisk here. So he went straight for Thunder. Okay. So it's going to pop our balloon. Our balloon's not going to matter much since he doesn't have that Donphan. Let's go for a Charge Beam here. He's going to throw up a Sticky Web. Alright, and we do get the special attack boost first turn here. He might try switching into Aerodactyl here. Let's see how much a Surf would do to this. Where's our calc? So if we're running Heliolisk here, we've got our special attack boost. And this is going to be on why can't I think of Galvantula? So Surf would knock this out. Let's actually go for oh shoot. Let's go for an Agility here. So that way if he switches into anything, we'll outspeed it. Alright, so he's gonna go Aerodactyl. Good. As long as this isn't Sash, we're going to be able to knock this out here with a Surf. Or... No, we'll just go for Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt's the safest play. Alright, so we're going to knock that out. That is his only potential Defogger. So webs are going to be up until we remove them. And he still doesn't know we have Surf, so he could potentially switch into something else that'll get hit pretty hard. So Heliolisk's first game manages to pick up a nice hit here. Nice KO. So I think his safest switch here is probably to go into Cresselia. Because at this point right now, I think Heliolisk takes everything else out in one hit. Yeah, Crest. This is the only thing I don't know the calcs on. I'm going to run these real quick. Yeah, we're not going to be able to do much against that. We're not running Expert Belt anymore. Does this give us a free switch into anything? We can switch into... Do we want to go Araquanid here? We can go Araquanid and set up a sub. Or I'm trying to think if it's safe or smart to go into Scizor right away. Let's go Araquanid here. And see what he wants to go for. Alright, so he's going to throw off a Toxic. Let's just get behind a substitute here. I feel like he's going to switch into Galvantula. And behind a sub, we'll be able to take a hit and we'll be able to knock something out. But if he stays in, we can start leech lifing and hitting this pretty hard. Alright, so he's going to go into Chandelure, which probably has the Infiltrator ability now that I think about it. I wasn't considering that, but a Liquidation should knock this out. So he does have the Infiltrator, but Liquidation's going to knock that out. We shouldn't go down to Toxic yet. Yeah, well, we're good for at least one more turn. Now looking back on it, having Sucker Punch would have been nice on Toxic Croak. But... yeah, so his play is probably to go... I don't know. Probably Galvantula and sack that. Because he's got to get rid of the sub here. Yeah, he's going to go Galvantula. We are just going to go for a Liquidation. So he's going for Thunder, he's going to connect. Liquidation should knock this out. Alright, so Araquanid's going to pick up 2 KOs. And we're still alive, so what we can do potentially here is... oh, he's going to go into Cress. Let's go... at this point, I think the smart play is to go into Scizor and get rid of these webs on our side. Well, let's see. What does he want to do? Because I kind of want to keep this alive as a sack. So let's go ahead and go Scizor. And he's going to go for a Moonlight. Okay. Let's go for a Defog here. We'll get rid of the webs on our side, because I think at this point... actually, no. That's not the play. That's not the play. Keeping webs up for now is probably the smarter play. Let's just go for a U-turn. We'll see if he wants to switch out into anything. Alright, so he's going to go for Psychic, which isn't going to do much to us. U-turn does a decent amount. Solid 30. So we know he has Toxic, Moonlight, and Psychic. So... what's our safest play? We might be able to go into Pinsir here. Let's just see, damage-wise, what Pinsir needs to have. On Cress. So if we get in, we get a Swords Dance up, we can potentially knock this out in one hit. He's probably going to go for Moonlight this turn, and Psychic only does 30 to 36 on us. So let's go ahead, we'll go Pinsir and Mega Evolve here. Actually, do we need the Swords Dance? If we're at neutral, does 44 to 51. Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and Swords Dance. He's gonna go Entei. That's fine, because now what we'll do is we're gonna switch out here. And I think we will sack Araquanid here. Sack Araquanid, then we can go Heliolisk. Or should we go Toxic Croak? I don't know, but Araquanid's definitely the safe sack here. So he's gonna go for the Sacred Fire. Alright, so we're gonna go Heliolisk, and we're just gonna click Surf here. I don't know if this will knock it out, but I'll at least put it in range to where something else can come in and finish it off. So we're sitting in a good spot. Let's see what Pinsir needs to be at in order to take down Beedrill. I think just a Quick Attack alone might be able to do it. Yeah, Quick Attack, unboosted Quick Attack knocks out a Mega Beedrill. So we've got our hard counter there for that. So he's going to switch into Crest. This is going to give us a safe switch back into Scizor. And we're actually going to defog here, so that way we get rid of webs, because at this point webs doesn't matter for any of these left. Because Beedrill's going to outspeed us no matter what, since we have webs, and Entei's already slow with the paralysis. And Cresselia can't get hit with it since it has Levitate. So we're going to defog these off. He's going to go back into Entei.
I kind of would like to keep this alive, just because it still hits other things relatively hard. So we're going to U-turn here and go into Toxicroak. Oh, so he must be Choice Scarf. So that's unfortunate for him that he didn't break through paralysis there. That would have definitely taken out our Scizor. Let's go. Hold on, let's see here. We're gonna go Heliolisk first. I want to see what Toxicroak can actually do to a Cresselia. Let's see, Toxicroak, Cresselia. So if we were at +2 from a Sword Stance, we can do 44 to 51 on a Cress. So that Cress is almost in range for Poison Jab to knock it out. Let's just play it safe and we'll go for a Surf here as he goes back into Cress. This is going to allow him to probably just Moonlight up, and we're going to be able to get back into Scizor here and U-turn afterwards. I think we saw before, I'm slower than this, correct? Let's see. Yes, so we're slower than this, so that's good, because now we can get a slow U-turn into something, most likely Pinsir. So he's going to go for Toxic. He might have forgot that we were actually faster. Let's go Pinsir. This is going to force him to go for a Toxic here, and what do we need on Entei? Actually, I take it back. That might have been Banded Extreme Speed that he went for on the Scizor. Let's see here. So if this is Pinsir. Alright, so +2, return easily knocks it out. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna Sword Stance here. He's gonna go into Entei. How much was that quick attack? He's Choice Scarf, Paralysis. We'd outspeed this anyways. We're gonna go ahead and click return here. He's probably gonna go for an Extreme Speed if that's what he had. And this should knock it out unless he's running. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna pick up a KO there. This should be able to finish off the rest of the team now. Because the Crest shouldn't be able to take this. So we're gonna apply her off a return. Yeah, so this is gonna be a good game. We're gonna pick up a nice win that we needed. It's gonna give us a 4-0. Get us back on track. That puts us at 0 on our differential. So we're gonna be 3-2. 3-2 with a even differential, which is nice. And we got some very big KOs there. So Heliolisk with its first game coming in definitely helped out a lot. I figured it would be able to help out in general, but firing off that agility really allowed us to control the tempo, especially with that Aerodactyl. Once webs were up, like I said, webs were going to be big for us because it was going to slow down his team and allow us to hit him back relatively hard. And then Pinsir did its job there in the end, just setting up and going for the sweep. So next week we take on the Maryland Blue Crabbies and their coach Adam. So that should be a very fun match. I believe we're at home again. I think we're at home one more time before we start our road trip. I could be wrong though. But yeah, so that should be an interesting battle. You'll be able to watch my video of it, and you'll actually be able to watch his too. So check out his channel. He's got his battles uploaded every week, as well as Coward of Kanto. He has his battles uploaded as well. That's who we played the week before the Topeka Tyrantrums. So if you guys enjoyed, great, and we'll see you next week.